Where do we find Cristobal Gabarron? Atlanta, Seville, Brussels? Major works of his decorate public spaces all over the United States and Europe. But it is in New York City that we catch up with the prolific Spanish artist who was born in Mula in 1945. It is here that the Chelsea Art Museum is hosting a retrospective of his paintings and sculptures. Past Bellevue Hospital and a leisurely drive by the United Nations offers a glimpse of Gabarron's most recent commission, 10 sculptures celebrating the 400th anniversary of Don Quixote.
My first experience of New York in 1964 was a city of liberation. I was surprised, even frightened. The city was full of things and I didn't understand. Full of human beings, I thought they might be violent. In order to overcome my fears, I started taking yoga classes. They gave me ideas about space. I could imagine I was a bird, and the city no longer frightened me because I could fly over it like a bird, and that gave me a sense of tranquility which overrode the fear.
Yo volaba como un pájaro por encima de la ciudad y me daba una tranquilidad tremenda y no tenía miedo ya de la ciudad.
He was just absolutely fascinated. He did these very dynamic, abstract works, as though he was a bird. He gets the darting and the moving of the bird and the sort of crazy dynamics of the building and the lights and so forth. I mean, this is a very multi-dimensional artist. So there's the dynamic New York liberation after the claustrophobia, the stifling atmosphere of Franco Spain, which he grew up in. He couldn't stand the violence of it, and it brought back the violence of the Spanish Civil War, he said, which he never had seen, but his father was involved, and his father always was talking about the violence of the Spanish Civil War, okay? So he had to respond, and it put him in an elegiac, mournful mood. That's what this is about.
I think if I would really get down to my favorite work, okay, I think just my personal favorite single, it's that the one with the skull on the brick wall with the birds skewed, the parrots skewed with the gold. I think that's just a fantastic imaginative conception. All these works are amazingly imaginative.
I think what Gabarron does very successfully in both his paintings and in his sculpture is essentially he creates works where the space feels active rather than static. There's a sense that everything is in a state of momentary capture of a dynamic state of being rather than just something that's static. And so his images, his formal structures, his formal strategies all seem to be developed around the idea of activating whatever space he's working with. In my mind, I remember them as being much bigger than they actually are.
Well, I like the idea that the first thing you see when you enter the Chelsea Art Museum, even before you enter it, is a sculpture of Miguel de Cervantes, which Gabarron did. He's a protagonist of the whole series of work you can see all over Manhattan here.
Cuando yo hice la selección de ideas para representar el Quijote, me encontré con una cantidad de personajes y de cosas que eran increíbles. Tendría que haber hecho 100 esculturas para poder entender bien el Quijote.
When I started thinking about how to represent Don Quixote, I was confronted with this huge cast of characters and improbable actions. If I wanted to do justice to the novel, I would have to make hundreds of sculptures to properly interpret Quixote.
Yo
course I totally identified with Don Quixote. I don't know if I am as mad as he was, but I do feel we have a lot in common. We are both under an illusion about the scale of life. We believe that human beings are essentially good. This Quixotic thought that utopia can be realized.
Y tres, en que la utopía es posible.